This leak after leak, the Basic Education Department is dealing with another matric exam paper that's done the rounds, this time on social media. The physics paper 2 was leaked yesterday morning, just before pupils sat down to write. Now, a week earlier, maths paper 2 was also leaked. The Hawks have been brought in to investigate. The Basic Education Department has sent teams to check security systems to avoid another leak. Let's get more from the department spokesperson, Elijah Mhlanga. Elijah, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. So you had a meeting, of course. What's your latest statement on these leaks?
Good afternoon, Shahan. Yes, we had a meeting yesterday. The minister chaired a meeting of herself together with MECs of provinces, and the matter of the leaking of exam question papers was discussed, and it was agreed that certain steps were going to be taken to protect the question papers because the investigation is still going on by the police, but also the department, and the exam as well is still in progress. But one of the decisions taken yesterday was that we're not going to divulge the details of what we're going to do right now until the examination is completed.
Yeah. So, of course, the system checks are quite tight, but the human element here seems to be the cause of these leaks. Elijah?
Absolutely. It's the human factor that always has a role to play, because when you do something like this, you can't really automate everything. You need the people to move the papers from one place to another, packing and distribution is papers. And even in previous cases, it was always an individual or persons who would leak the papers and think that is the right thing to do. But at the end of the day, it creates a lot of chaos and a lot of anxiety. And unfortunately, the systems as we have them right now, they require people. So for as long as we are running the exams like this, people will need to be there. All that we need to do is to make sure that we improve the way the people are appointed. The vetting system needs to be tightened, and maybe do a little bit more than that.
What are the implications for these pupils who wrote these two papers?
Well, right now we're calling for calm. We're asking them to continue writing the papers that are still coming. The investigation will determine what needs to happen. Recommendations will be put into a report that will be given to the minister. She will decide whether a rewrite is what we need to see happen or not. But for now, we're investigating. The key priority is to get to the bottom of the matter. Who is the source, or where is the source of the leaks? And that will help us close that gap. But for now, we're appealing to people to focus on the exam. It's a long way to go still to the 15th of December, so we don't want any further disruptions to occur. So we are asking parents to continue to support their children.
Yeah, and given that gap in the system, and in particular this human element and factor, you can't confidently say that there won't be another leak, right?
It's difficult to say because it's a large system. I mean, this year we have 1,058,000 people writing the exam, which means we've had to expand our capacity in every respect, which means we've had to work with people that we've never had to work with before. We have had to write exams in centers that have never been used before, and using other resources that have never been used before. So the risk was always there, but we did not anticipate that it will happen in this way and affecting this particular subject. So that remains a huge concern to us. But with the changes and some of the interventions that we have put in place, we hope that those will assist us to protect the exams until the end.
Yeah, and of course, the systems and the consequences of leaking matric papers go as far as jail time, but it's still not a deterrent. Is there anything else you can do to deter people?
Well, we need to do more. I think we need to make an example, and we hope that the Hawks are going to assist us in this regard, because we really need to parade the people who would be arrested on these cases so that people can see that there's a real penalty for this and that the repercussions are dire. Until such time that we make an example with a high-profile case, with an arrest which will secure a conviction, people will believe that they can get away with murder, and we don't want that to happen. That's why we quickly went to the Hawks. We asked for their assistance, and they are currently assisting us with that, and we are happy that the developments in that regard are encouraging, and we hope that that too will work. As for learners, it's really about banning them from writing the exams for about 3 years, but that too doesn't seem to be working. Even though some people had to go through that particular punishment, but other people forget and think that they can get away with it. But this time around, it's a serious matter, And we feel that the involvement of the law enforcement agencies in the way that they are handling this matter is going to work and communicate a different message, which is very strong, to make sure that we put a stop to it.
Elijah, these leaks have been happening for years now, right? Do you think it's a failure on the Basic Education Department's part to actually get this right once and for all?
We did not have a leak last year and the year before that. There was a leak in 2016. And before that, it was 2014. So sometimes they happen and others they don't. So it depends on the mind of the person at that time. But every time we make sure that the officials that work in the system are honest and that they do their job in the right way. So for the most part, the exam has gone very well and it goes quietly. But this time we're having these challenges. And when you look at it, we've had to handle a combined exam now, which means the May-June exam, which usually happens for the rewrite people, did not happen, and it's now. So that's where the risk is always appearing, because those people had already failed Matric. So this is their second attempt. So it's more likely that those places or those people or someone could be thinking that to assist these candidates, this is the way to do it, when in fact it's not. So it's very important that people must remember that whatever you do, you will always get caught. And that's the good thing about the system, that whatever happens, we will always find out and we'll always be able to deal with it. And we want to really make sure that people understand that there will be consequences for everything.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you for that. Basic Education Department spokesperson Elijah Mhlanga.